You're watching the March to March, presented by Principal Financial Group. And what a matchup we have to close out the Southern Conference regular season. The Furman Paladins and the Samford Bulldogs ready to go at it with plenty on the line. Let's give you an idea of what we're talking about. Here's what the SoCon standings look like heading into this last game for all the teams in the regular campaign. Samford a game up on the Paladins, UNCG right there with them, Western Carolina and others follow. And hi everybody and welcome in with Dean Keener, Pete Yannity. Not much more we could have asked for to wrap up the regular campaign. The winner of this ball game today seals the #1 seed in the SoCon tourney.
Isn't this why you play for championships? And in a league like the Southern Conference, the #1 seed in the conference tournament. Oh, by the way, we've got the two best scoring offenses the league has to offer.
And two of the best big men you'll find in SoCon play. Both vast improvement during their careers. Logan Dye for Samford and Jalen Slauson for the Furman Paladins.
Jalen Slauson is arguably the most talented player the Southern Conference has, and he does it at both ends. In conference play, he leads them in scoring, rebounding, steals, and blocks. And in the last meeting, 26 and 11, he's an immensely talented, immensely improved guy over his 5-year career for the Paladins. For Samford, also a guy who's been on his campus for 5 years, Logan Dye, he's also improved each year. He's talented inside and outside, shoots 50% inside, but he makes just enough threes to keep you honest from the outside. He's tough, he's strong. It'll be a battle between these two guys today.
Furman has won 5 of the past 6 meetings in this building. The Bulldogs of Samford look to protect the home court and grab their first ever #1 seed heading into the Southern Conference tournament. We come back and tip it off after this.
In a very good conference, the SoCon. Garrett Heen didn't play in the first matchup. Bothwell there to clean up the miss. Guy working with a leg issue, but battling on. Ball movement. Parham, good outside shooter.
Bubba Parham, he simply knows how to score.
Let's give you a visual definition of madness in the month of March. The finish from last year's SoCon tournament, definitely worth a watch, presented by Principal.
David Jean-Baptiste for the Chattanooga Mocs, just inside half court. And the celebration was on for the Mocs, and then the agony of defeat for the Furman Paladins. And Pete, I think that's really one of the reasons why Bothwell and Slauson came back, to try to get these Paladins back to the NCAA tournament where they haven't been since 1980.
A couple of teams that average about 80 points a game, they've combined for 7 over roughly our first 5 minutes because they play good defense.
Well, the ball hasn't gone in for either team at the clip they want, but they continue to play fast.
Slauson and Bothwell, the savvy seniors out high. It's knocked away. A chore. Jaron Reilly on the drive. And Slauson says, really touched it last. Caden Campbell just into the game. Top of your screen, #2, an outside scorer for the Bulldogs. Hesitation by Parham, defended by Whip. Campbell, junior college transfer. Nice step back.
He's best when Glover and Parham are both on the court.
Home folks wanted to travel. Bothwell wants to continue to be fed. So far, it's Mike Bothwell against the world. All 13 points for him. All 16. 6 of 6 beyond the arc. What do they say about big game players in big games?
He's feeling it. I think the scouting report was go under screens until he proves himself. Buck McMillan's got a decision to make now defensively.
Got a timeout on the court. Mike Bothwell. Someone told him that there was a #1 seed in the SoCon tourney on the line.
And you know what? The guy showed up. There's a reason he scored 1,900 career points. It's Furman early in Birmingham.
So then we'll talk more about it. Quez Glover and Samford trying to get it going. And he'll go to the line with an and-one. Foul by Pegues.
Well, there's been a couple of outstanding individual one-on-one moves by the Bulldogs. It was Campbell a couple possessions ago, and this time Glover. Boy, he gets Pegues going and just puts him in a situation where his feet get tangled up. Watch, step back, and then there was contact.
10 combined fouls already. There were 46 combined in the first matchup. Foster from downtown. He hit a huge three in overtime in Furman's win against Samford in January. Gets his team back up by 8. Paladins led by as many as 11. Staten McCray out front. Over the reach of Slauson, which is tough. Achor unable to save it to a teammate. Pegues pushing the pace, goes around Parham, fakes to his right. What a nice finish.
So a terrific pass fake with the dribble in tow, froze the Bulldog defense, and then he had a wide open look. As we go to the under 8, Mike Bothwell, he's at 18 points. He has been the offense for the Paladins, but on the drive, the made basket, it's waved off. That's his third. Huge call. We got a good one here at Samford.
I titled him Mr. Birmingham Basketball. Bucky McMillan, head coach of Samford, guiding this Bulldogs team in his third season. What a job he has done. From Mountain Brook High as a player to Birmingham Southern, then back to Mountain Brook as an assistant, then an ultra-successful head coach, and here he is in the third year of his college job with a second straight 20-win season.
He certainly knows how to win. 5 state titles at the highest level classification in Alabama, and that's in 12 seasons. He certainly was the right guy at the right time. And Martin Newton, son of C.M. Newton, well entrenched in basketball with Nike. He was on John Calipari's staff. He's the director of athletics here at Samford. He knew that Bucky McMillan could get this thing going.
Glover saw the door was open. After the offensive foul on Bothwell, as you noted, Dean, his third, so we probably don't see him to the second half. What do you do for the Paladins? It's been the Bothwell show so far.
Who do you turn to? Jalen Slauson is one obvious thought. J.P. Pegues also a guy that can create his own.
Ben Vanderwall, a freshman. Chance for a 4-point play. Maybe youth will be served, as Vanderwall has given some good minutes so far this season. Jalen Slauson out high. Pegues pump fake around Achor. J.P. Pegues is feeling it. Slauson with the Achor defending. And the steal by Staten McCray. Slauson trails. Parham couldn't follow. And Slauson comes away with it.
Slauson's got to be careful. He's got a foul. He can ill afford to pick up 2.
Pegues inside. Slauson finishing. Give J.P. Pegues another assist, averaging 4 a game. Bucky McMillan calling a timeout. Furman has again built the lead. Back out to 10. Samford had crept a little bit closer.
That was Slauson's first basket. Let's see if he can get going in the last 4.5.
This is the March to March, presented by Principal. Statement time, part of the season. Staten McCray, offensive rebound. Didn't realize how quickly he could go back up with it. Been an entertaining first half and a physical first half. This ball game between these two was quite physical. Jalen Slauson, we told you, at 26 in that opening game. Hadn't heard much of him offensively, but there he is with another bucket inside. He's got 6. Just under 60% beyond the arc in the opening half. 10 of 17. Bulldogs play for a final shot. Closing seconds of the opening half. Achor could not get rid of it in time. Huey knocked it away, and right there in a capsule, that defines what we just witnessed over the first 20 minutes of this game. Mike Bothwell had the hot hand, the sizzling hot hand. Early in this contest, his teammates then followed for a Furman team. That's 22-2 when leading at the break. Samford just 1-6 when they trail.
It has been Furman, boy, in a fast-paced game. This is right to their liking. When they knock down threes, boy, they are really, really hard to beat. 50-34, Furman.
You're watching the March to March, presented by Principal. Well, not the happiest looks on the faces of the Samford student section. Their team down by 17 as we get ready to start the second half in this key battle to close out the SoCon regular season for each of these teams. Dean Keener, Pete Hannity back with you. They say basketball can be a game of threes. The other night up in Chattanooga, Samford hit their fair share and limited a really good three-point shooting Chattanooga team to just 24% beyond the arc. Today, Samford 1-3 made. Furman has been killing them from beyond the outside.
And that's the difference in the game. As you point out, a game of threes. Furman 10 of 17 behind the arc. They got started by Bothwell, but there's been a number of guys that have been able to drive, draw, and kick. And boy, when you make 10 threes and you hold your opponent to just 1 of 9 behind the arc, you're going to find yourself in the lead, and that's why Furman is up 17, 50-33. And it was a number of guys. As much as Bothwell made it, McGeese made 3 himself. But Mike Bothwell is really what got this Paladin offense started. He scored the first 18 points. He was 4 far behind the arc. He just was really, really good. In a game where he had entered not being in double digits the last 3 games, we talked about how do you get him going? Well, he got himself going, making some shots behind the arc, had a couple of free throws. Fouls were really the only thing that held him back. You see right there on the drive, he picked up his 3rd and sat the last couple of minutes. It'll be interesting to watch that as we enter the second half.
Take a look at the game summary brought to you by AT&T 5G.
Again, we talked about it. Samford's got to tighten up the defense. You know they can score, but you can't let the Paladins shoot 60%, 58 behind the arc. And those assists, right? The 11 on 18 made field goals suggest Furman is sharing it. Not so much, just 3 assists, too much one-on-one ball by Samford.
Shot clock under 10. Slauson. Shot clock winding down further. And the beat goes on from one half to the other from long range.
Nice job right there by Marshall, reading the defense again.
Second on his team in steals, maybe first in excitement, at least that time.
He impacts winning because of his motor. Look, and I mean this very respectfully, he's got Dennis Rodman intangibles to him. Well, the defense is tightened up by the Bulldogs, and they've turned the defense quickly into some offense. The interception by Marshall, he knows how to finish, even if he needs to use the rim. It can also do it behind the arc. Glover.
With a 13-point lead, adding on. Mike Bothwell, the big smile. And in terms of Samford trying to get back in the game, Glover would prefer to get a few from the field as well.
Well, he can score the same clip that Mike Bothwell can, but yet, well, you don't want to trade baskets right here. Bothwell, a guy we saw earlier in the season, get 36 on Stephen F. Austin.
Glover has 21, coming away with it. 3-on-1. Dive, up, and under.
Wow. What a terrific offensive move by Dye, and then the steal that keeps this going. Most importantly, keeps the crowd into it. And that becomes a 6th man when these Bulldogs want to press full court.
Staten McCray called for the bump. That'll be his first. Jermaine Marshall, as head coach tells us, tends to get more emotionally and mentally up for an opponent than any of his Samford teammates. We've seen that energy translating here in the second half. Well, you see some fans showing up to express their thoughts. Dye, another nice revert. Told you he's gotten so much better over the last couple of years off the dribble. And once again, a steal on an inbound, but he ain't able to save the day. As Campbell couldn't get it to go down. He's pretty much been nursing it since then.
Very well could have been.
Oh, what a nice pass, and the quick move to the bucket. Jermaine Marshall doing his best Mike Bothwell here in the second half. Bothwell scored the first 18 points for Furman in half number 1. And now a 15-point second half for Marshall. Slauson. Easy enough. Looked like they were running a practice drill. Heen with the slam.
First things first, though. Both teams trying to earn that number 1 seed.
Foster. Dye followed. It still rolls in for him.
You give Dye an assist right there. He got a hand on it, but not enough to cause the miss.
Lead back to 14 points for the Paladins. Glover, contact. Staten McCray. Dye gets the rebound. Right back up with it. And Bucky McMillan calling the timeout. Back within 12 of the Bulldogs, but time not on their side. Just 4:25 remains in our second half. Marcus Foster contributing nicely to the Furman Paladins cause today. The 4th-year junior, 14 points, 1 of 3 in double figures. And you're watching the March to March, presented by Principal.
will. They'll play this possession out. McGee said, no hurry.
Strong move. Wow. J.P. Pegues. Mike Bothwell is about to move on after a long Furman career. You have a pretty good idea as to who's going to take up the backcourt scoring slack for Bob Ritchie's club. It will be their first SoCon home loss. Glover. Wow. Wes Glover from downtown, give him a new career high. 27 points for the Florida transfer. Paladins can just dribble it out. They will come away with a very convincing win. In a very big moment, the Furman Paladins will have a #1 seed heading to the SoCon tournament. UNCG still has a chance to get a share of the Southern Conference Championship. For now, Samford and Furman will close the regular season sitting on top together. The Furman Paladins last had the #1 seed in the Southern Conference tournament in 1991. And that was back in the days when they sat and watched the first day of action everyone else played. And then it didn't go well for them. It was a 20-win season in their conference opener against Appalachian State. That team went on to the NIT. This Furman team has a goal. It's been that way really since a buzzer sounded ever so loudly for them last year at the end of the Southern Conference tournament to go back and get the first SoCon Tourney Championship in NCAA automatic bid since 1980. And Bob Ritchie's team will head to Asheville with a whole lot of momentum, winning 93-79.
24 wins, first #1 seed. Hey, what do you say about this Furman Paladin team? They're battle tested. Every time you thought they might wobble, no, they just imposed their will on this Samford team on the road. Congrats to both teams.
On senior day at Samford, the party spoiled by the Furman Paladins. Big win for them. They built an early lead and rode Mike Bothwell and others to another win in the series against Samford. Paladins win it 93-79. For Dean Keener and our great crew, Pete Hannity saying so long.